Hi friends, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I am very excited for this week's theme. As you can tell, I will be reading dark romances for the entire week. I might break this into two parts because I have about 10 books that I want to get through. Yes. Let's get into what I'm going to be reading. So I got a majority of these recommendations from Jen from the Book Refuge, Tamika from Library of Tomes, Naima from Naima Reads, and Izzy from Happy For Now. All of their channels down below, and you should check out all of their channels. They all have, great content. For this reading vlog, I will be reading all dark romances that you can find on KU. That was one of my requirements. In true Tamika fashion, I will be reading a Brianna Hale. So I am deciding between Rush and Come to Daddy. And then I have Alpha in the Sheets by Tamsin Parker. We have Sugar Daddies by Jade West, Used by Carrie Silverwood, and Degradation by Stilo Fantone. So I'm very excited. Let me know before the video even starts your thoughts on any of these books down below if you think that I will like them. But other than that, let's get into the vlog portion of this video. Hi, I am just now leaving work, and you might tip over, but I am like 80% of the way through Rush by Brianna Hale, and I'm fucking obsessed with it. Yep, that's the angle. I have not loved a romance like this in so long. Like, I have read this all in one sitting at work, and I've been like messaging Tamika on Instagram, like live updating her on everything, and because it's just so freaking good. Like, I don't even know how to explain how good it is. Okay, so the heroine is like a choreographer, and she had a bad experience with like this rock star in the past, and he didn't treat her very well, and it kind of ended in a scandal. She's like very skeptical, but Rush, who is the lead singer of the rival band to the rock star that she had the issue with, wants her to choreograph a music video for him. So she kind of reluctantly starts working with him and becomes his choreographer. It is like a daddy little situation, which I didn't even know that I was into, but I guess I am. Like, I like daddy calling aspect of it, but the whole like little space is never something that has like really been my thing. And she's like a little bit of little both, like especially Rush are inexperienced with daddy little space. So she is not super like in the little space all the time. Wow, I'm loving it so freaking much. I was gonna stop reading at work so that I could update you guys, but I didn't want to stop. Like, it's so freaking good. And usually for me, don't really care about the couple like once the conflict is over, but I just want like 10 million more books about them as a couple. Like, he is so sweet and cute, but he can get really stern when like she needs for him to get stern. He never questions like anything that she wants. She like likes to be spanked, and she likes to be slapped, and so she basically she'll be like, I want you to hurt me, and he doesn't question it. Like, he doesn't ever make her feel bad about it. He just does it, and it is so good. Like, I love their relationship so much, and I think Rush is like my favorite hero I've read, because he's this soft little jelly bean, but then he like goes daddy in a second, and it just it's so stinking good. And I'm like I'm up to the point where they have kind of separated, and then obviously they get back together, but I'm at the part where they get back together. And that whole scene was just so good. I loved where he kind of just showed up, and he was like stern with her because he knew that she was just in her head, and like it was so good. And I like that she called him out on the bullshit that he pulled, and like he knew what he did and he apologized for it. Like, it's so freaking good. And like, I don't even know, I need to like form proper words for how good this is, so that when I wrap up the clip for this book, you guys, I can have like coherent thoughts, but it's just so perfect, and I want to reread it already. Like, it's that good. This is like romance to me. Like, this is just, it's soft where it needs to be soft, it's understanding, it's communicative, loving, and just being so open and free with your partner and feeling comfortable in that space with them. Like, just, it's so good. I'm gonna finish it and then I will update you guys. I'm just, wow. Hi friends, sorry for the bad lighting, but I finished Rush and I gave it 5 stars. It was so freaking good. Rush has definitely replaced Pike as my favorite hero. Like, the ending was more about like the band and stuff and less about their relationship, like once they got together and stuff. I'm already ready to reread it, but I loved their dynamic. I think this was written super well. I think this is her newest release and it just was wow. I loved Rush and I loved Dree. She was such a sweet little angel and I loved all of the things that she was working through and their relationship and how open they were, and even though both of them were pretty new, they were like working through it together and finding out what they liked and what they wanted, and it just was fantastic. So 5 out of 5 stars, highly recommend. So good. Now the hope is that they are all this good, but I feel like I might have screwed myself, but it's fine. So let's talk about the next book I am starting. So I am 8% of the way through Alpha in the Sheets, and I'm not entirely sure what this one is about, but so far I am following, I think her name is India, and she is a part of this company that seems to set up dom-sub relationships for people, and you have to go through like a whole screening and all that kind of stuff, and she gets set up with this guy named Chris. I'm only 2 chapters in. I'm on chapter 2, and she has just been like given his application or whatever, and it looks like they're gonna go maybe to Hawaii together, or they're going on some sort of vacation. I'm not really sure, but we haven't even met the hero yet. That is the situation. It's the first book in the After Hours series. This is a new to me author, and the writing is pretty good. We will see how this all goes. Hi. And we will talk probably at the 50% mark. Hi friends, last night I finished this and I gave it 3 stars. Honestly, wasn't that great. I didn't love it. Here, the heroine can choke. Like, she was super annoying the whole time. It ended on a cliffhanger, and Chris was the best part. I will not be continuing the series. Yeah, it was just not anything really. It was like them hooking up time and time again, doing their dom sub thing, and then like a relationship developing that we didn't even see. Like, it was just told to us. So hi friends, today I ended up finishing Sugar Daddies, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I like super fucked myself by reading Rush first because these are just not good. The heroine who enters into like a sugar daddy situation with 2 guys. This is a MMF erotica romance, I guess, more on the erotic side. They're a pre-established couple and she kind of like joins them. I did not like it at all. I thought that one of the men in the relationship, Rick, was a throwaway character. It was dual POV between the heroine and Carl, and Rick was the other male in the relationship, and he like had no personality. Like, he was like spunky and sexy, but we never really got any backstory from him, and it was really all about Katie and Carl's like baggage or whatever. So he felt very one-dimensional and kind of pointless, and like he was just there to make it a poly relationship and make it sexier, but not like actually be a person. Katie herself was really annoying. It was like she was 2 different characters. So when she was with them, she was fun and funny and interesting. But then we have this side relationship with her dad and her stepsister, and I hated the way she acted. Like, I hated her behavior. It reminded me of like middle school girls fighting, down to like a bathroom scene, and it just, with a fight, it was like just so off-putting and horrible and didn't match her as a person, like the other way she behaved. Like, it just, I hated it. And then the ending really pissed me off because there's something that Carl wants she doesn't want, and she ends up giving in, which I hate. I hate when one of the halves of a relationship loses agency by the end. You see it so much. You'll see characters that go into a relationship and they're like, I don't want to get married, I don't want kids, I don't want this or that, like, this is my dream, like, this is what I want my life to look like. And then the other person's like, okay, well, I want this. And then one person sacrifices what they want for the relationship to work. And like, I don't like that. It was extremely irritating for me to see her kind of lose that agency over her life. Also, I hated the dirty talk. It was awful. I did not like it. It was not sexy. Like, the actual descriptions of like what they were doing was hot, but then as soon as I started talking, I would skip dialogue because it would just ruin it for me. I started listening to The Obsession, and it's the second book in the Filthy Rich Americans or something series by Nikki Sloan. I'm freaking loving it. If you don't know what it's about this woman, Marist, who has an arranged marriage, and his family owns like a bank. They're like in the upper crust of society, and he was set to marry her sister. Her sister gets pregnant, so they decide that that's not suitable, so she gets set up with him, and they have this arranged relationship, but they actually like are in love, and they want to be together, but in order to get engaged, there's like this initiation ceremony that has to happen. It's freaking wild. But the ending of the first one, this one picks up right after the ending of the first one, which was wild. I don't think we're supposed to like McAllister and want McAllister as endgame, but I'm here for it. He gives her, okay, I'm gonna get into spoilers because this is sexy as fuck. Like, you don't want any spoilers for the first book and the second book. Then skip ahead, but there's a scene where he gives her a vibrator and tells her, you're gonna use the vibrator at this time, and I'm gonna be able to control it from my phone in the other room, and then you're gonna text me and tell me how many orgasms you've had. Wow. Like, I know she doesn't end up with him because he has his own book where he gets his own love story, I guess. But wow. Whew. I'm really liking it. I'm excited to listen to more. But I'm gonna start another of my KU books. I'm listening to The Obsession on Hoopla. So, not on KU, but check it out if you are interested in the premise. It's crazy. I'm gonna start the next KU book, and we will talk in a little bit. Hi, I finished 2 books and they were really good. So first we will start with the one that I have less to say about, and that is Obsession, which is the second book in the Filthy Rich Americans or whatever it's called series. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. Honestly, McAllister is who she should end up with. I think we all know it. I think she knows it. I think Nikki Sloan knows it. But unfortunately, she's not going to, and I'm sad about it, but sexy as, like, wow. But the ending, crazy. Can't wait to pick up the third one, which I've already gotten from Hoopla. So, the other book that I finished was Degradation, and wow, this was so good. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I knocked off a star because I think I would have liked a little bit more like back and forth fighting tension in the beginning. This is kind of like a second chance, and it is a sister's boyfriend in the beginning. In the prologue, you're introduced to your hero and your heroine, and the hero has been dating the heroine's sister for like 2 years at the point of the prologue, and they end up smashing. And this is kind of like the catalyst for like their sexual awakening for both of them. And from there, the heroine ends up getting basically estranged from her family, and they disown her. So she moves across across the US, and she gets her own place and all of that kind of stuff. And then later, I think it's like 7 years later, she ends up seeing him at this party that she's catering, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. And then he hires her as like a day assistant at his law firm, and then like he gets her information and they enter into like this kind of fuck buddy situation. It is so sexy. This, I will say, has degradation, obviously. So he like insults her, he calls her a bitch, like all of that. And then he's not like nice. And then there's also some like smacking later on. So if you're not into that, I don't know why you'd pick this up anyways, but wow. It was so good. I loved them. I loved how much of a compliment they were for each other. I loved the hero. He is like a unapologetically dickish asshole hero, and that is exactly what she wants. I like that she gives as good as she gets. Like, this was just so freaking good. It was so sexy, and it ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to continue into the second one. But wow, I really liked this, and I'm definitely gonna read more by this author because this was just sexy as hell. And the writing was good, and the hero was just fantastic, and I liked all of it. And yeah, it was very well worth the read. I ended up finding out that Used is not even romance, it's an erotic suspense. So I am not going to pick that one up for this reading vlog. I will later, but it is Thursday, and it's the Thursday before the Monday that I'm trying to post this. So I still have a couple of days left to read some books. So I think I'm going to read the last remaining books that I was going to read for the second reading vlog. So I have Wanting Mr. Kane by Shanora Williams. I have Flip Trick by Emo Jones, Heartless Hero by Mary Catherine Gebhard, and then Clash by Belle Aurora, and then I'm gonna try to read that other romance by Brianna Hale, Come to Daddy. So I am going to get into these. I will probably start with Wanting Mr. Kane, and we will talk with my feelings. I've been really bad about updating at 50%, but I think because I'm reading so many books, this is gonna be long anyways. But let's get into Wanting Mr. Kane. All right, so I DNF'd some stuff. The one that I was telling you about yesterday, Wanting Mr. Kane. So the premise of the story is a girl named Candy who grew up with her dad's best friend, and she's 18 now, and they smash. She is insufferable. We got way too many of her points of view. She was too damn annoying. She was 18, but she acted 12. Like, she just was annoying. There's a buttload of cheating in this because he has a girlfriend. And yeah, I just could not stand being in her head. Like, it was too annoying, and that's kind of where I'm at with the one that I'm currently reading. It's the Flip Trick, I think, the one with the skateboard on the cover, and it's kind of the same. So this is a stepbrother situation. So she met this boy when she was a kid. Her mom was having an affair with his dad, and then like 17 years later or something like that, she's in college and has a one-night stand with a guy, and then she goes to her mom's new boyfriend's house to find that her one-night stand was the guy that is her, it's not technically a stepbrother because they're not married, but at least yet. But she's also very insufferable. She is like the grunge, like skateboardy, I wear Vans, kind of like not like other girls girl, which as a girl that skateboarded and wore Vans and like did all of that, that doesn't make you special. Like, you're not the first person in the world to have dyed hair and like wear pants. Like, she just is very annoying about how like not like other girls she is, and we all hate that trope, but this is just kind of ridiculous. And so far there's not really a whole lot of tension that you would expect from the stepbrother trope. You would think that there would be a lot of like forbiddenness. I was hoping there'd be like a hint of bullying or something, and it's just not, it's not that. I'm not that far in, only like 100 or so pages, and it's like 360 or something like that. I'm gonna keep reading it at this moment, but we'll see if that continues because it's not looking too great for that book. We'll talk in a bit. Hi friends, I ended up DNFing Flip Trick, and I just finished this, what is it called? Heartless Hero or something like that. It's a bodyguard with like a rich family,
or something, and it's like bully light, and it's second chance. She was with him when they were like 16, and then she got like kicked out. I guess he was like staying with them or something. It's not very clear, but yes, comes back as like her bodyguard because she's like from a really rich family, and I really loved it for like the majority of the book, and then it ended up being like almost 400 pages, which is just entirely too long in my opinion, and so I gave it 3 stars, and it just dragged way too much, and I don't think that the tension is there for as long as I wanted it to be. I've definitely read better bully. Very dramatic though, like if you're looking for like a Gossip Girl-esque book, this is good. It's definitely more dramatic and more like adult, but still it's, you know, a good time if you're just looking for a read. And I just started Clash. I don't know what the whole thing, I think there's some sort of mob element to it, mafia maybe, but it is 461 pages. Talk about things being overly long for no reason. I'm 3% of the way in, so I would like to have this vlog finished and edited by like mid-afternoon tomorrow, which is Sunday. Have this up on Monday because I'm participating in the Love in the Night readathon, so I would like to have all these books wrapped up. I'm not going to end up getting to the Brianna Hale one, but that's the plan. But this is a long one, and depending how much I'm enjoying it will determine how quickly I read it. But hi friends, so this morning I finished Clash, and it is time to wrap up this reading vlog. So this is basically a rockstar story. It's dual POV, and it follows a girl who kind of accidentally gets roped into working for a rock group, and she ends up going on tour for them, and she's like their assistant, and it's her relationship with one of the rockers. And I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. I really liked it until about the last, it's like 464 pages, and I loved it until like 340 or something like that, and everything was all wrapped up in a clean, nice little bow. They were together, and then the conflict had already happened, like with them, and I was wondering where we were going to go from there. And then it was like 100 pages of just them being happy, which I don't care about couples being happy. That's just not something I care to read about. So it ended up getting a 3-star. It started like a 5-star, and then it slowly went down to a 3-star. So that is that, and that wraps up this reading vlog. So let's go ahead and rank the books that I read, and I will tell you if I will be continuing the author's backlist. So definitely in first place is going to be Rush, which I gave 5 stars. I will 100% read her books, and I'm thrilled to be getting into them. So then I would say next up, I will continue to read Nikki Sloan. So she probably would be in my second. And then I would go Degradation. So Stilo Phantom, I am very excited to continue with their backlist. Heartless Hero and Clash were kind of, I would say Clash is higher up than Heartless Hero. So I will read more from Bella Aurora, and I will read more from Mary Catherine Gibbard. Probably the remainder of the books in that series actually is what I'll read. And then the last 2 would be Jade West and Tamsin Parker, which I don't know. I didn't particularly like the way that either of them wrote, so I don't know if I would continue with their backlist. And then Amo Jones was my DNF, one of my DNFs, which I probably won't continue just the way that it was written. And Shanora Williams, I probably will. I just found the heroine to be insufferable, so I don't know if it was like a one-time thing or that's just like her MO, but this is my ranking, and yeah, I had a great time. I think I read a decent amount of books, and I got through the books that I wanted to try, found some authors, found some great stories, and yeah, I enjoyed myself. I hope you liked this video. If you have any thoughts on any of the books that I read or want to recommend any of the books off these authors' backlist, I would love to hear it. But other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.